Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. I'm in the building today with the glorious and beautiful Conscious Elz. How you doing today?
Hey, doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I can't complain. I'm alive. God's blessed me with life today, so can't complain.
Amen.
I mean,
yes, sir.
The people returning to this podcast know who I am. Those who don't know who I am, they'll get used to it. But for the people who don't know who you are, introduce yourself. Let us know. Let us know a little bit of your background.
Hey guys, so Marielle, but Elz for short. I'm originally from the Bronx, but I was born in Dominican Republic. I work for the federal government. I don't know. I'm soon to be a divorcee. I don't know. I'm spiritual. Fun stuff. We'll get into it, I guess.
Fun stuff. Okay. Yeah. So
it feels weird to say. Like,
so we got a Fed on here, y'all. Y'all heard that? We got a Fed on here. So watch what y'all say in the comments.
Please.
Crazy, because
who
knows?
Not I'm a Fed.
Who knows what she's gonna leak to her superiors over there in DC.
It's hilarious.
Oh man! All right, today we got a touchy subject, right? We're gonna try to focus around this. So I realize that in a lot of my episodes, I say we're gonna talk about something, and then sometimes we gear off the tracks. So from now on, what I'm gonna say is today we're gonna focus on this because it might go somewhere else.
Okay.
But
reframing, that's good.
Yeah. Reframing. Because I'm in the middle of a rebrand actually. So soon we're gonna have a full rebrand. Nobody's favorite podcast. It actually might become somebody's favorite podcast. It's crazy, but
that would be the irony. Irony. I forgot to mention, I also have an upcoming podcast myself. Due to some personal stuff, we had to do some rebranding as well. But we are also looking forward to coming back and hitting you guys with some content for sure.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, give it up for that. Give it up for that.
Funny.
Oh man. All right. So today's topic is going to be on sexuality in society. Very touchy for some people. I guess it could be what they call a trigger to others. But we're gonna get into it. I want to talk about some things. I want to get a female perspective. That's why we got you on the show today. I wanted to see how your mind works, how the female mind works. Obviously, you're an individual, so this is gonna be your personal preferences, whatever we talk about. But it'll give me more of an insight into what females think than my own thoughts. So that'll help. Mm-hmm. And if any of you people listening, whether it's on YouTube, we're going to add some questions to the Spotify. If you listen on Spotify, be able to answer some questions, put in some feedback and stuff down there in the, whatever the fuck that shit is called at the bottom of the show episode. But yeah. So, first of all, what I want to ask you first is, this is how I want to get into this. What do you think about sexuality in society today? How do you think sexuality plays a role in society?
In what way?
In any way, like what? Just when you think of sexuality in society, how do you? Is it movies? Is it advertisements? Is it fucking books?
I mean, it's everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much access now to things. Like when we were younger, we had to, get into a Playboy or, you know what I'm saying, find a VHS, or if you had the illegal box, then you had the Spice Channel. Yeah. So like
Cartoon Network on last in case somebody came in the room. Press the
you know what I'm saying? You have to hit that. You got to go back. So, there's so much access now. So it's like, even like, how early is too early to have a conversation about like the birds and the bees with children when they have so much access, like on their phones, on their little tablets or whatever, iPads, or, so it's like, I feel like our children are like more over-sexualized now than they were before, for sure. I mean, like, I feel like that was always a thing, but like more so now. No, like you see a lot of generations where like grandmas are like 35. You know what I'm saying? And it's just babies having babies. But like, if these people grow up and they're successful, then you know, they kind of can show that you can go through something like that and still make it through.
Yeah. So you use the word over-sexualize, right? And I sit there and think about it. I was trying to think today as I was thinking about the episode and some talking points, whatever. I'm thinking, what is over-sexualization? Like, how do you over-sexualize? Sexualization is sexualization to me. I would think, you would think, right? It's you're either sexual or you're not sexual. How could you be over-sexual, right? So then I started thinking, like, what could be considered over-sexual? Like harassment, you know, unwanted advances, catcalling.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So that's over-sexualizing. So when we think about that, how do you avoid it? If it's everywhere in mainstream America, if it's everywhere you go, if you're walking down the street as a woman, or you're on a bus, or you're on the train, how do you avoid it? So are you just expected to cope with it? Do you think that you're just supposed to just take it?
It's gonna happen whether I block it out or not. It's just always there. You know, it's kind of like one of those things. I mean, it doesn't make it right, but like, we're second-class citizens. There's a lot of men that genuinely just hate women, so I'm confused as to why they date women. You know, they just like feel such disgust for their partners, and I'm like trying to figure out where the judgment is. Like, if this person is so horrible, then why are you with them?
This is true.
But like, everybody you date is horrible, so you either have crappy taste or you're the friggin' problem. You know what I mean? Because at some point, you got to take a look at yourself.
These days, I think a big problem people have is accountability. Most people don't want to say it's them. So it's always, I've never been with anybody who's ever said, oh, yeah, I was the problem in my last relationship, so watch out for me. Like, no. It's always the last
of course.
Who's next, you know?
Nobody wants to be attacked.
There's no accountability. There's no accountability. But here we go in the sense of, look at marketing, right? You see a movie trailer. It's an action movie. The movie's about somebody got kidnapped, and like the president's daughter was kidnapped, and the person has to find the girl before the bomb goes off, or some fucking whatever plot. But in the trailer, you see titties, you see ass, you see the sexy female lead, like co-star, like most of which has nothing to do with the plot or premise of the movie. You see an ad for clothes.
It's because there's so many types of movies that they just add that to beef it up, because they're really crappy movies.
Yeah, but even with clothes, you see.
You know what I'm saying? But the same thing. It's the same thing. You're selling a fantasy to people, because let's be honest. Think about like all these girls like that you see in these like Fashion Nova Instagrams or whatever. Like, they all have this look, but like when a regular girl or just those outfits, they're not gonna look the same on her. They're selling you a fantasy of what it could be. You know what I'm saying? And we're like feeding into it.
They're selling you a fantasy that you end up getting mad at, right? So the cycle ends up going.
I mean, yeah.
You see
it's like going to a strip club.
This commercial. But no, because the majority of men who go to strip clubs know when they leave the strip club, they're going to have no money, and they're fine with that. They're like, okay, I went there and I'm happy.
Yeah, but you go there for the fantasy.
Like, so I mean, sometimes you go there for the wings. I don't know. It depends on the strip club. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is, you get the situation where the sex is advertised. You buy it because
it's everywhere.
As a female, you see the girl with the big titties and the nice shape wearing
It's a woman. As a woman.
Yeah, as a woman. What
female doesn't pertain to human. Human doesn't pertain. Female doesn't pertain to human. It pertains to something of the female.
Well, we're only talking about humans. We're only talking about humans. Oh, so we'll get into that. We'll get into that. Oh, you know what? We're gonna go with what you just said. We'll get into that. So,
okay.
When a woman sees the advertisement, she's like, "Oh, that looks great.
Okay.
That looks. I love that. Okay. That bra and panty set looks really cool in this magazine, and I love how it looks on this model. And I'm gonna buy it. My man is gonna love it when I walk through the door in this 90. He's gonna be fucking head over heels." Hard like this. and then you put it on,
okay,
and you look stupid as fuck, and because you're not shaped, because it was made, it was cut, because clothes are made in a cut, so it was cut for women in this shape. It wasn't made for women in a different shape. I'm not saying a slim woman. I'm not saying a big woman. It can just be a woman with wider shoulders. You know what I'm saying? A woman with thicker hips.
Okay.
It doesn't matter what it is. It wasn't made for you. So you saw this picture of this woman or this video of this woman on television, this commercial, for some reason thought you would look exactly the same or some shit or similar in this outfit, bought it.
I don't think we're gonna look exactly the same. Justin.
I don't think by exactly the same you're gonna turn into a white woman or a Brazilian or an A cup or B cup.
No. That's not even what I meant at all. Like,
it just means like it's gonna fit you.
When I see the piece, I see the garment. Differently, right? But like that's why you look for things that come in your sizing.
But that's what I'm saying.
You can customize those pieces.
Most people, the majority of people, let's admit, don't think like that. They're going to see that. They're going to be like, oh, that looks really nice. Buy it, get it in the mail, try it on, and be like, oh my God, I look ridiculous. I hate this. I'm sending it back. Or if it's some shit like that, you can't send back. Whatever it is. Point I'm trying to make is the over-sexualization of the garment, the clothes. There's nothing sexual about clothes. I don't give a fuck what the clothes are. It could be panties. It could be a bra. It's nothing sexual about it. It's underwear. Fuck, it just is what it is. The sexiness comes from the person in it.
But you
can either look sexy wearing these drawers, because you could be a badass woman and throw on some granny panties and be looking good as shit in them. You can be an ugly ass woman and throw on a thong and still be an ugly ass woman. It ain't about the fucking clothes. It's about the woman wearing the clothes.
Right.
So
they
reason
for the underwear being sexy is because it's because of the body parts that the garment is covering, Justin. Like,
even
you know what I'm saying? Like the lace is over their breasts. But then that's not a garment. If it's not covering anything, it's not a garment. There's nothing there. A garment is a piece of fabric.
Crotchless panties is a garment. I'm just saying, if it's not covering the private area.
Right, but they have Right, but where is it sitting? Where is it sitting over the sexual parts
of the woman?
See what I mean? So that's what makes, or of the person wearing them. Because if it's a man and he's wearing like boxer briefs or whatever have you, or chapless underwear, like.
But if you see a man that you're not attracted to wearing boxers, and a man that's right next to him that you are attracted to wearing the same boxers, it's not the boxers that you're attracted to, is it?
No, absolutely not. I'm not attracted to an inanimate object.
In the advertisements, advertisements and marketing, sexualize the garment because, like you said, as a woman,
they're selling you a fantasy. They're selling you a fantasy.
So what's the fantasy? I need you to explain to me what
the fantasy is that you could potentially. The fantasy is that you go in the store, you pick up this item of clothing, you go home, you put it on, and you feel as amazing as you did when you saw it on the model on TV.
But how?
That's the fantasy.
But that's how. What do you mean? Does that fantasy?
It's all in your mind.
But if you know you don't,
it's all in your mind.
If you know you don't look like that person,
but what if you don't think that?
If you don't,
but you are not going to look like that person on that TV because that's not you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't judge myself by societal standards. Like if I did that, then I would not be alive.
That's why I'm asking. What's the fantasy that they're selling you? Because if you know
they're selling you like you want to look like this. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that because I don't look like that woman, I don't feel sexy. If that's not what I rationalize as sexy, I'm not going to care what it looks like on that woman. I'm going to care about how it looks on me. Exactly. And even if I don't look like her, it doesn't mean that I'm not sexy. It's like you said, right? Doubling back to what you said that it's not about the piece, it's about the person wearing it. Mm-hmm. To me, I'm a bad bitch. So I'm going to wear that piece. That piece is not going to wear me. You see what I mean?
I do. And that's where I'll go back to saying when it doesn't look right, and then the woman gets mad that it doesn't look right because she assumed that it was just that what was going to make her sexy was this piece. Because that piece was over-sexualized.
No, a piece adds to the sexy. I feel like if you honestly believe
I'm a man. I'm a man.
Women are that...
Listen. I'm going to tell you from a man's perspective. I'm a man who's had many women try to be sexy. Many women fail at being sexy. Many women succeed at being sexy. And 9 times out of 10, it's always a different piece, but always within the same realm. Trying to put on a nightgown, or try to put on some lacy shit, or try to put on some cute little teddy or some. Sometimes they look dumb as hell, and sometimes they look really good. It ain't never.
But that's piece. Like with anything.
It ain't so.
But then that means it looks stupid because you don't like that person. Because if you like the person, you know how they say they have that meme that says, "Oh, his piece feels like it's huge when you love him." Yeah, it's like that. Same thing for the guys. It's one that's it's a fucking meme. That's like the one that said, "Oh, her kitty feels tight if you love her," or something like. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just things that people say.
Those are all mine.
I mean, but like, how much of a sheep are you that you can't see right through that shit? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, we live in the world. Turn on your TV right now. Tell me how much of a sheep you think people are. That was that a real question? Like, how much of a sheep are you? Like, look at the world. Who's the president of the United States? People voted for him.
What does that mean? What does that mean for me?
It means that
he's not a representation of me. He's not a representation of you.
No, he is.
You are your own person. You represent you.
No, unfortunately, when it comes to presidency, this is what we was talking about when we said things. We're gonna try to focus on sexuality, but now we're gonna veer it off. When it comes to presidencies,
we're on it. We're on it.
He represents us. When people think about America, they don't know us as individuals, so they think about him as our president. This is who the American people voted for. So this is must be how they think as well. So he represents us. So that's what I'm saying.
But you know that people also know that our governments are like super oppressive, and that most people in the U.S. are racist. So they know that that's not an accurate representation of us. This country is racist as hell, man.
Everywhere in this world,
it is accurate to the representation. But this country in particular hates majority of the people that live in it. If you're not white, they hate that you're in it. So it's like majority, you hate everybody.
That's every country.
They hate everybody.
It's every country in the world.
They hate everybody?
If you ain't from there, they don't want you there. I had this discussion with somebody earlier, right? And I was telling them, black people are only black people in America. Everywhere else, you are where you're from.
They're just people.
No,
you're just Dominican in Brazil. You're Brazilian.
Exactly, you are where you're from. So when people go to a country and if they don't like Nigerians, they don't hate all black people. They don't fuck with Nigerians. They'll fuck with Senegalese. They'll fuck with Ugandan, Ethiopian, Jamaican. They just don't like Nigerians. You know what I'm saying? Black people, only black people in America. It's the only place where they're going to refer to an entire class of people as black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
that's true.
It's not. That's how they America is seen as niggas like Joe Biden. When people look at us, it's an unfortunate reality because that's how we classify people. Even if other countries don't see it like that, they treat us how we treat them. That's just the way it is.
I mean, it's unfortunate because that's not the average American. If you're thinking about the majority of people that live in the U.S. who are probably people of color, don't really behave in that way. They're probably hardworking people who just want to do good for themselves. That's what the American dream is all about.
It is. And you know what's crazy is that the American dream has been tainted. The American dream is whatever the dreamer wants it to be at this point. The American dream.
That's the biggest fantasy of all. That's the biggest fantasy of all time. That's the one they sold to us. The American dream.
You will come here. You can get a job. You have the opportunity, and you can be free. That was the American dream for everybody. It had the same dream.
Yeah.
Now it's the dream
for immigrants. For immigrants, it's a little different.
What do you mean?
I mean, it was always like that.
Well, yeah, but
you could go as far as you allow yourself to go. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about stuff like that, and I think about my family. My father came here and he worked for like 30 something years, brought his children, brought my mother, and created a life for us all with his sacrifice. So, and that's the type of stories that I hear a lot about. It's very, you obviously have your horror stories and stuff like that. Everybody has that one family member that was like in the drug game and then got busted and is now back in the mainland. You know what I'm saying? There's bad eggs everywhere. But like, that's the American dream to Dominicans could be very different than what it is to Nigerians. Like, a lot of people, what they do is they come, they work hard, send stuff back, create their lives back home, and retire there. You know, because that's where you want to go back to home.
The American dream is only like that for older people. It ain't like that for the younger. Like, this is what I mean by the American dream has been tainted. Listen. This is what I mean by the American dream has been tainted. People don't come here looking for a job so they can work to get opportunities no more. That does not happen. Ain't no 20 fucking year old fucking anywhere coming here like, oh, I'm going to work in America. You know what they come here for? They come here because, oh, I can become rich in America doing YouTube. Oh, I can become rich in America doing TikToks. Oh, I can go to America and be a fucking transgender. Oh, I can go to America and be gay. These are the new American dreams.
You could be all those things in other countries.
No, you cannot, because you could be in a country where they will murder you for that. There are countries that is in the Constitution that if you are gay, you will be killed. So they cannot be that there. So their American dream is that they come here to suck a dick. As wild as it sounds, that's what their American dream is in actuality. Because they have money.
That is horribly reductive.
It's not. I'm just saying it in a generalization. Okay, their American dream is to come here and find love with another man. I don't give a fuck how you want
to be free. To be free. You remember how you said the American dream was to be free? But that's what you said.
No.
I'm repeating what you said.
Listen. Freedom is no. Mm-hmm. To be free to do what?
To be free. Why does it have to be something specifically? Why not just to be free? To be my own person.
That's not how it works. That's not how it works. You're looking at idealism, okay? You're looking at how an ideal society will work. Listen, if you're coming from a country.
No, you're talking about for your own life. I can't say for anybody else how their life would be.
I'm talking about people like I speak from places about what I know. I know people who have come from other countries who are here because they were.
But you haven't come. You haven't come from another country. I came from another country. I literally was born in the Dominican Republic. I said that at the beginning. I literally came from another country.
What does that?
Well, you're telling me what the American dream is, and I'm telling you what it is for my family. I'm telling you what it is for me. I'm giving you clarification because you're speaking on something that you've never been. You were born in the U.S., hon.
Did you not hear?
I immigrated there.
Did you not hear what I said? I said for older people such as me and us and your parents. What you said?
I'm
yes,
not old.
I said older people. I specifically said people coming here at 20 years old. Are you 20 years old in 2023?
No.
So why are you talking about you immigrating here? I specifically said 20-year-olds coming here these days in modern day society.
Yeah, but anybody can be famous anywhere.
No.
Think about it.
I have.
All you have to do is go viral. All you have to do is go viral and you could be famous from literally anywhere.
You do know that the majority of the countries in the world don't have that type of internet structure that we have where you can go viral, right? Like internet is not the same everywhere. So you can't just go viral. It's not like that.
I feel like I see things from a lot of different places in the world. So maybe they do have that internet structure, you know?
You will see it. But it ain't. It's not as prevalent as here. It's not. You see. You know. How do I?
Because you usually have settings for your geolocation, so you would see things in the country that you're in.
Yeah.
So it's not about infrastructure so much as it is about your country or where you are.
It is about infrastructure because if you don't come from a country that allows Facebook, then you will never see something that on Facebook that somebody's uploading. If you don't come from a country that allows
so
TikTok,
then how would somebody have seen it to begin with? Instagram? So how would you have seen it to begin with? If they don't allow it, how have you seen it?
Things travel the same way they travel through word of mouth. Somebody could have been doing something with a tourist.
Right, but if you haven't seen it, you don't know what it looks like.
They send it to somebody else. Just like somebody tells something. But
you said Facebook is not allowed. So if it's not allowed, how do you see it?
I just told you. Because maybe you met a tourist, and the tourist, you chopped it up with the tourist at a bar, like, hey, look at this video. Tourist like, oh, that's hilarious. Send it to me. Tourist now has it. They send it to their friends, or they post it on Facebook, or they post it on Instagram. Not everybody has the infrastructure. Just because something gets out there doesn't mean they put it out there. That's not always how it is. You know, how many people's sex tapes have been leaked? How many iCloud accounts have been hacked? Not everything that gets out there is what people put out there. You know? So, but what I was getting at with that was there's so many people coming here because America is seen as a country that is accepting of everything, and we're forced to be tolerant. Now, it's different if you want to be tolerant. That's fine. I don't mind being tolerant. I don't, and I hate the fact that people have
it's kind of like,
no, you are, because
it's kind of what it says in the Statue of Liberty, you know?
No, you are, because there's such things as hate crimes. If you don't like something, you can't do something to an extreme because it's against the law. So that is forcing somebody to not do something. Because, I mean, it just is.
That's not forcing somebody. That's crime. Why would you want people to do crimes?
I'm not saying that you should do crime. I'm just saying when there's a law in place,
but the things that you're thinking about doing,
I'm just going by the definition of things. Look, Conscious Elz. I'm just going by the definition of things. A law is a forcible structure to make you do something. Period. That's what it is. There's no option of a law.
Or to keep you from doing something harmful. Or to keep you from doing something harmful, right?
Yes, it forces you to do something harmful. It's something that forces you to do something.
Yeah, people are stupid. There should be laws in place.
So
people
now
really
you agree with me. Now you agree with me that it forces people to do things. Now we're in agreement finally. So
yeah, it's to help control people from themselves and their stupidity. And the stupidity of others.
But being tolerant, like I said, being forced to be tolerant is what causes a lot of people to be intolerant. A lot of people wouldn't have problems with certain people if they weren't forced to be cool with these people. Let me gradually get to know somebody. Don't force me to get to know somebody. And I'm not speaking from my perspective.
But I don't think anybody's forcing anybody to do anything.
So here,
I don't think anybody expects that.
Let me finish. Here, I say that to say this.
Okay.
When you do have people who, let's go back to the transgender thing, right? When you do have people who are transgender, you're forced to tolerate that. I've been to many places that have bathrooms where transgenders are allowed to go into the women's bathroom. I'm forced to tolerate that because if a transgender goes in the bathroom with my kid, I'm not allowed to beat his fucking ass. But you tell me that, oh no, that's too violent. You're committing a crime. You shouldn't hit him if he's in the stall with his dick out next to your daughter, who's in the stall next to him, and you're outside because as a man who accepts being a man, you're not allowed in that bathroom. So you forced me to be tolerant of that. So yes, you are forced to be tolerant. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah, I was agreeing.
No, but 2 seconds ago you didn't agree. You told me, "Oh no, you shouldn't."
No, what I said is that it keeps people from being themselves. Because if it was from committing legal,
crimes. You said it keeps people from committing crimes.
Because some people's
why is it a crime? Why is it a crime for me?
Because some people.
Why is it a crime for me to not want this man next to my daughter in the bathroom? Why is that a crime?
Okay, but that's specific to you, sweetheart. We're talking about
every man with a daughter. That's specific to every man with a daughter in the world. What do you mean?
Okay, you can't speak for every man with a daughter. What? You can only speak for Justin because Justin is who you are. I can only speak for Elle because Elle is who I am.
No. I can speak for every man I know with a daughter. Every man I know with a daughter. I'm speaking for them. Everyone.
Okay, so for
I've had this conversation with every one of them.
Okay.
So why are we forced to be tolerant?
Okay, so because that's just the type of country that we live in. We also live in a country where when something happens to a woman, when she's sexually assaulted or anything like that, they ask her, what were you wearing? What were you doing? Instead of why somebody did that to begin with. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Some of these rules are to protect you from yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Because if these men could keep their hands to themselves and not force themselves on a woman, right? Which is illegal, right? That's a law that's trying to keep you from yourself. Because if you did that, then that would be illegal. See what I mean? So some of these rules are to protect people who don't want to make good decisions. That's what I'm telling you.
So here's where I say I don't know what you mean. Because those same men that we're supposed to protect the women from, I'm supposed to allow them in the bathroom if they identify as a woman with my daughter. That's what I'm saying. How am I supposed to be tolerant? How am I supposed to be tolerant?
But you understand that anything, I'm not a lawmaker. That's for one. So the opinion of me literally does nothing in regards to that. Yes, are you being forced to do that because they're trying to include people and have all of this going on? Absolutely.
I don't care about none of that. I want your opinion because we're talking. This is what the podcast is about. We're talking. This is the government. Me and you. This is the government.
Okay.
Nobody.
So then, what is the question? So what is the question?
Why should I have to be tolerant of? Why should I have to be tolerant of a man being in the bathroom with my daughter just because he identifies as a woman? Just like you just said.
I'm not saying I don't think that you should have to be tolerant. I think that there should be an option where if a person didn't want to deal with that, they can opt to go elsewhere. Like example, they would have the men's bathroom, they will have the women's bathroom, and then they'll have like a family room or like a handy-capable like bathroom stall. If you didn't feel comfortable going in either of the bathrooms because of the possibility of a person who might be who might see themselves as transgender, who might identify as that, so that you won't have any chance to bump into them. And most establishments offer that, or not gender specific, but where it's like a bathroom.
These days in cities, like you're from New York, these days in cities, you can agree. You go to the city, and there's you go to the bathroom. There's no more man and woman. It's a fucking sign, and half the sign is a man and half the sign is a woman.
I've only ever seen that. I've only ever seen that in an airport, and I will agree that I did not feel comfortable at all.
I've seen that in movie theaters.
I did not enjoy that.
I've seen that in restaurants. I've seen that in the airport. Where else I've seen that? I've seen that in. They don't have it in stadiums. No, they definitely don't have it in stadiums. But I've seen that in multiple places. So. I believe it because, like I said, I saw it in the airport, and I was really thrown off and uncomfortable with them. So think about the other side of it. I also have to be tolerant of men being in a space that used to be solely for women. Yes.
So I'm also on the screwed side of that.
You are, but you're far more capable of defending yourself than a 5-year-old girl.
According to who?
What?
According
to physics, like you can lift and punch a lot harder than a 5-year-old girl. You're far more like.
No, I mean that's true.
Like, what do you mean?
That's true.
Like, I'm not saying
that's true. Yeah.
Not every predator is a big giant man. Some of them are little feeble little people that you can easily beat up. Like but that same feeble person can take a little 5-year-old girl.
I agree, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm also not comfortable with that because now I have to deal with, and for me, it's not even so much the transgender women or whatever. Because to me, if they see themselves as a woman, I highly doubt that they're focused on like touching little children unless that was already a deviancy that lived in them. You know what I'm saying? I'm more concerned, right? But I'm more concerned of the men who are just creeps and can't stop their greater instincts to do harmful shit to women. That's what I'm most scared about.
It only takes one. So, excuse me. Oh, shish.
Yeah, but that's with anything.
There's more and more instances every day in the news now of, this transgender inmate got three female inmates pregnant. Just saw that a couple days ago. Oh, this transgender inmate
got wicked.
Yes, transgender inmate gets a female CO pregnant.
That is wicked.
Okay, like.
Why is that CEO fucking with that transgender?
Who knows? Who cares?
Why is he fucking up?
Just because you're transgender doesn't mean that you're not still attracted to the opposite sex or the same sex. Or I don't even know how the fuck that works.
No, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking why the CEO is fucking an inmate. Why are you getting pregnant by a fucking inmate? That's a bad judgment call.
I mean, it's
you're a person in jail. Yeah. That's
focus
crazy.
here. We focus on the transgender being allowed into the bathroom with the children. Fuck the transgender at jail, nigga. Okay. He's in jail after he fucked the kid. That's what we talking about. Why did he fuck the kid? Why is he allowed to be in the bathroom with the kid? That's what we talking about. Why is the transgender allowed in the bathroom with the kid? How can you rationalize that?
I don't rationalize that because I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for that.
You didn't? Oh, I don't know what you
I told you. Like, no. I didn't vote for that.
But you also
didn't vote
started
for
this
that,
off by
right?
saying when I said if a person gets upset at X, Y, and Z, you said, oh no, but that's a crime. If I'm upset about this transgender being in the bathroom with my child, and I see this man come out the bathroom, or I hear my child scream, I don't know what it is, and I run in the bathroom and see this transgender next to my child, and I take matters into my own hands, why is that a crime? Why are you considering that a crime?
Because you can't put your hands on people the same way that transgender person that was in the bathroom can't show their dick to like your kid.
But they did.
Because that's also a crime.
But they did.
But this is in a scenario of something that's never happened.
It happens every day.
Personally, specifically.
But it happens every day.
To you, personally, specifically to you.
The topic of this is sexuality in society.
Right, but you were speaking. But then you said, if my daughter, so if you're talking about
anybody's daughter, if anybody's
specifically
daughter,
to you, no, you said you.
Daughter. Okay, now I'm changing. Any man. Now I'm changing. What if me or any man? What is it? What does it make a difference if I say me?
And I literally told you what it is. So you're just looking to dig a bigger hole in what it is. You have options. You could choose.
Why should I have to? Why
you could choose?
My kid is has to use the bathroom. Why?
It's your kid, so make a choice. Make a different choice.
So we have to choose to leave the establishment because
make a different choice.
So we're forced to tolerate it. Because if we don't tolerate it,
so
we have to make a choice.
Choose better government officials. So choose better government officials that project, that follow your ideals.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not the only one.
So then, what kind of magic state do you expect me to wave around to make it okay for you to beat up this imaginary transgender situation that has never happened to you, right? It's the same thing. We cannot change it. It's not okay. You should not have to be forced to do that. But like I said, establishments usually will have a handy-capable stall. So you can go in there and be free from all the transgenders in the world that you think are going to do something to your kid. But you could literally just go in there and choose not to deal with that.
That's a stall.
You can if it's one of the handy-capable stalls.
But I can't go to get to the handy-capable stall. I have to go first into the women's bathroom.
Mm-hmm. No, sir. They have outside bathrooms for people in wheelchairs.
So specify.
The ones that are for like family and disabled.
So
people.
Specify. You said handy-capable stall. A stall is inside of a bathroom. So you mean a handy-capable bathroom?
Right, but I also said that they have their own bathroom outside that you can go to in between the male, female, and then they have the handy-capable family room.
I get you, but not they know.
So you can go there.
And if that's not available, all right. Look, my sole question was, why do you consider it a crime if I defend my child from a man?
But that's the thing. The rules are to protect people from doing stuff like that, right? On both ends. For this person to be sexual with your child, and for you to pummelize somebody to the ground because they did something to a loved one, right? Right? They're to stop those things, but. What I was saying is not okay. You don't have to put up with that kind of stuff. You can make a choice. But unfortunately, the government officials that we have in place, those were the decisions that they made. And we have to pay for the consequences of that. And that's just the kind of society we live in. And that's like anywhere in the world that could be even more oppressive to people. If you live in certain places in the Middle East, you can't even hold hands with your significant other. Mm-hmm. So like people have to put up with shit they don't want to put up with all the time. And the people that can't leave, everybody that wants to come to America doesn't make it here.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the ones who can, they'll come.
Yeah, but the ones that can, you know how small those percentages are? All of those things, immigration-wise, are extremely costly.
We have the biggest migrant problem in the world. If they can get to a border, they're getting in the country. Motherfuckers is getting to these borders. We have the biggest migrant problem in the world. Okay, and we're separated from most of the world. Most of the world is across the ocean, and we have the biggest migrant problem in the world. Mm-hmm. So they're getting here.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of these people are migrating
somehow
in different ways.
Somehow they're doing it. I don't know how the fuck they're doing it. It doesn't matter to me how they're doing it, but they're getting here. They finding a way to get here because they're oppressed in their country for whatever reason. Financially, sexually, socially, fucking whatever. Racially, whatever it is. Religiously, whatever it may be. They come here. And that's what I'm saying. Most people's, their dream now, their American dream is not to work. It's because of something else. Religion, society, social norms, sexuality, things like that. So
but I mean, you would still...
So the ones who are coming here for sexuality, they're bringing more and more of what many would consider perversions to this country because their countries don't want it.
This country is plenty perverted.
Absolutely, but when you bring
this country is why they're coming here. They're coming here because it's perverted. So you're talking about people that are perverted are coming here, but why are they coming here? This is the home for perversion. Hollywood, especially,
that's what the new American dream is. That's right. That's exactly what I said the new American dream is. And you're like, I came here from DR. I didn't come here for that. That's what they come here for now. What the fuck? Thank you. You finally agree with me. That is why. Because America is perverted. So sexuality in our society is one of the predominant reasons people come to this country from other countries. Because gender identity is somehow sexuality. How is that a thing? How do those two things correlate now? Why is that?
How does anything happen? People just have to disagree. People could just not understand, and then it becomes a problem. It's literally just that simple.
But it doesn't make sense. Do you agree?
It doesn't, but people don't make sense on the regular.
No, but do you agree? What's your standpoint on if a person decides to be? Because we all know gay is gay, lesbian, fine. I mean, obviously, lesbian is just female gay. I guess. Like, I don't know why there's a different definition for it, but whatever. Gay is gay.
It's a specific term because they're identifying men and women.
But that's weird because there's no identifying term for men.
They're making it gender specific.
Okay, again.
It is. It's called gay.
No, because gay by definition.
That's what gay is.
But gay by definition just means sexual attraction to the same sex. It doesn't mean men sexually attracted to men. That's not what the definition says. It says to the same sex. There's no straight definition for males like there's a straight definition for females.
Really? Yeah, I thought it was two definitions for it. No, that's interesting.
There is two definitions for gay. The other one means happy.
Right, no, but I meant specifically.
But we all know what gay is gay. You know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, it says sexually or romantically attracted to people of one's own sex, used especially of a man.
Yeah, especially but not of a man, but not exclusively.
Mm-hmm. But typically referring to a man.
But that's what I'm saying.
So most people that use that say gay.
There's no only definition for men, which is kind of weird that there's a definition. But anyway, that's beside the point. So, but what I'm saying is we know
that's because it was initially just created for men.
Oh, well, I get it. I get it. But we know what gay.
And then they gave us something. You know what I mean?
And then you got the bisexuals, and then you got transgenders. But where do you stand as far as how prevalent transgenderism, I don't know if that's a fucking word, but transgenderism is in society, like tranny shows in the schools, all of that stuff. Like, I'm sure you've seen it online, Shade Room and all the shit like that, be posting and stuff. How do you feel about those things? Mm-hmm. Do you think that they should have a right to be able to do those things? Or do you think that that's not what kids should be seeing? Not even allowed to have God in school.
To be honest with you, it's kind of one of those things that's unavoidable, right? So whether I would want that to be the case or not is something I'm not going to be able to avoid because it's in the media, it's outside in the streets. I didn't ask if you avoid it.
I said,
you know what I'm saying?
How do you feel about it? I don't care if you can avoid it or not. How do you feel about it?
Right. So what I'm telling you is, if it's something that's unavoidable, it's kind of something that you have to learn to deal with.
But you don't.
So whether I like it or not, it's in my face.
You don't have to like something. People are in jail and that's unavoidable and they don't like it. You don't have to like something that's unavoidable.
You don't have to like something that's unavoidable?
Yeah.
I don't. I have men doing things to me on the regular that could be avoidable that I don't like. So you're right. Yes. You don't have to like it. But it happens every day. It sucks. It sucks. But I have to deal with it because that is also that. It's there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they're no threat to me, right? I don't put myself in predicaments where I would be in anybody's face, transgendered or not, in an altercation where my life would be in danger. I don't. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak rudely to people.
You see that they give sexuality talks to children in elementary schools. That's what I'm asking you is, do you think that this type of stuff is okay? I don't care if it's going to be there or not. If you had a child in school, would you want to?
Okay, for me specifically, or for the world?
for you, do you think that it's okay for
me specifically
for transgenders to be coming to schools and teaching anybody's kids about transgender
So wait, hold on.
sexuality?
Are you confusing transgender with drag queens?
No, I know what a drag queen is.
Because I think you are.
No. One of my mother's friends, like one of her closest friends when I was growing up, was a drag queen. I know what a drag queen is. Like he's
okay, but drag queens are the ones that are going to the schools and reading to the children.
There's transgender ones. There's transgender ones. I said the transgender ones that are going and giving talks on sexuality. Drag queens don't give talks on sexuality. No.
I was trying to understand. Yeah, I was trying to see if I misunderstood what you said.
No, that's why I specified the ones that are going to the schools and giving talks on sexuality in the health classes, in the home ec classes, and all of this shit. And they're telling the kids, if you're a boy and you feel like a girl, it's okay. You can be a girl. There's nothing wrong with that. Do you think that shit is okay?
I mean, it is okay what if my child felt like that, and this person is making them feel seen. I look at it from the point of view of a parent, because for myself, I'm a woman. I see myself as a woman. I identify as a woman. I have no interest in being a transgender man. You understand what I'm saying? So if I had to look at it from the eyes of me as a parent of my child feeling potentially like this, I would feel that it's a good thing because my child is educated in something that I may not be, because I'm not a transgender person. So I can never relate to that particular struggle.
But
so exposure to that in that way, in an educational way, let that be very specific, educationally, then I wouldn't have an issue with it, because that's like if my son had never seen somebody who, let's say, was like Native American. Like, let's say if my child was raised in the Dominican Republic, where we don't have any more Tainos about, or none that I've known of, right? And then somebody came to the school and spoke about their heritage, and now my child can learn from it, right? And stuff like that. It's the same thing to me. It's not like they're going to have personal sexy talks with my kid. They're going to be in a room surrounded by people and sharing their experience.
But here's the thing. Here's the disconnect there that I don't think you realize, and I'm gonna point it out. So you said there's no more Tainos, or not very many. It's not, they're not too common on the island. So
as many as I know.
Yeah, well, either way, just so if one was to come to a school or cultural center or whatever and want to speak on Taino culture, it will be gladly accepted, correct?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, cool. We're on the same page with that. I agree. We're on the same page with that. Here's where the disconnect comes. Trainees are not women. How the fuck can you come to the school and tell these children how it feels to be a woman? That's like a white person coming to the
talking about.
What do you mean? What? That's like a white person coming.
I didn't even get to finish my statement.
Well, listen. That's like a white person coming. That's like a white person coming and saying how they feel like a Taino. This is what it's like to feel like a Taino. How do you know what it's like to feel like a Taino?
This is what it's like. It feels to be a Taino to me, because they can only speak from their perspective. They cannot speak from the perspective as a whole. They are one individual.
We both look. Oh, this is why I love podcasts, because we both on computers right now. Send me one link that you can remember anywhere, on a phone, anywhere, where you saw what a person said.
Who remembers links?
Listen. I remember plenty of articles. I can send you mad articles.
You remember links. You said links.
I remember. I mean, okay, Google it. Such and such and such. You see the link. Oh, remember, this is where I saw it. Click it, copy, paste, boom. Anyway, what I'm saying is, I've never, in the history of my eyes or ears, ever witnessed anybody within that culture saying, oh, this is how it feels to be a woman for me. Never. Every time I've seen it, it is always, I feel like a woman. I feel like I was born in the wrong body. I don't feel like a man.
But that's how they feel.
But that's how they think that women feel. That's how they think that women feel. Because you're, like you said, if you're not that, how can you?
But I don't think all of them think like that. I think that's very reductive. I think it's not reductive. You're minimizing it to like.
No.
Do you know all of the people who are of transgender? You know what I'm saying? You can't.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. See, and that's why I keep specifying.
How many friends do you have that are transgendered, so that you can make these?
And that's why I keep. That's why I keep specifying. I specifically just said I have not seen with my eyes or ears. Witness with my eyes or ears. So I'm not saying all of them.
But that doesn't mean that does.
Again, okay. I'm not saying all of them. I'm saying the ones I've been exposed to. I can only go by that part of the culture that I've been exposed to. That's it. Like, it doesn't matter what the rest of the culture.
Like you saw.
Yes, me personally, I can only go by the part of that culture that I've been exposed to. You can't go by anything else. If you live in a place where, and there are places like this, and let's take Gary, Indiana, shit like this. If you live in a place where police forces are predominantly racist, and every single time you've ever had an interaction with a cop, it was bad, you might be like, yeah, there might be good cops somewhere, but I ain't never meet one. So in my mind, I'm staying the fuck away from all of them, because every single situation I've had with a cop has led to me getting hit in the head with a stick, or thrown on the ground, or handcuffed, or spit on, or disrespected. So yeah, there might be a cool one out there.
You made a choice. Choice because you have the autonomy to do so. You made a choice.
But that's what I'm saying. If of everything I've been exposed to from that part of the culture is this, that's all I can go on. That's for sure your point of view. So that's why I'm saying, with my eyes and ears, this is all I've witnessed. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen or heard them say, me individually, this is what I think.
Right, but that's what happens, right? That's the same concept of if a tree falls in a forest, doesn't make a sound. If you're not there to hear it, how do you know that it makes a sound? The same thing. Just because you've never heard it doesn't mean that there aren't people who do.
No, because
you don't hear something or you don't see something doesn't make it not true. Doesn't mean that it's not happening. Just because you're not actively seeing people being punched in the face right now doesn't mean that people are not being punched in the face right now.
You're comparing.
You see what I mean? That's literally what you just said.
No, it's because you're comparing constants and variables. Everything that falls makes a fucking sound. Everything that falls makes a sound. So that's a constant. I know when a tree falls in the woods.
If cotton falls, it does not make a sound. If cotton falls, it does not make a sound.
At a subatomic level, it will make a sound. It will.
You don't have the ears to hear that.
It doesn't matter. It makes a sound. So the point I'm trying to make is everything makes a sound that falls. Not every transgender is the same. Everything that falls makes a sound.
And there you go. So not every transgender is the same. So just because you have never witnessed somebody saying, in my personal opinion, doesn't mean that there aren't people who do feel like that. So then you proved your own song. You proved your own point. You said that you've never seen it. So it's true. You're right. You won.
Exactly. I've never seen that.
You won.
So I can only
right, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. Okay. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
But listen, but if 100% of the time I've seen the negative, and then I'm told, hey,
that's in your little bubble. That's in your little bubble. It doesn't mean that it doesn't exist outside of Justin. The world does not revolve around you. So that just because it's not happening to Justin doesn't mean it's not happening here.
Look. If 100% of the time I'm dealt with the negative, and then I get an email from my school, hey, next week we're gonna have a transgender talk to your kid's class. No, the fuck you're not.
Pull your kid out. Do not send them to school that day.
Why should my child miss an entire day of education? Why should my child miss an entire day of education?
Because it's not education that you want your kids to learn, Justin. If you don't feel comfortable with that, your children don't have to be a witness to it. You as a parent have the autonomy to say, you know what? This doesn't feel right for what I believe in. This doesn't feel right for my family. We're going to take a second away from this. You understand what I'm saying? You have the autonomy to do that. And it's true. Why should you have to? Why should anyone have to do anything? Unfortunately, the people that are in power, in charge of these rules and creating these rules and passing these bills, do not think of the everyday person. You understand what I'm saying? They're in circles that are very different from ours, where they might not have to be as surrounded by, let's say, people who are transgender. We do, because we're the regular folk, but they don't think about us. They're thinking about the 1%. You understand what I'm saying? It's not about wanting it. Who wants that? No one should be forced to put up with anything that they don't want. But unfortunately, that's not up to us, because they don't listen to us.
Well, that's not entirely true. Everybody has things that you have to do things that you don't want to do. You have to work. You have to do things that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't have to pull my kid out of school.
You shouldn't have to. But we also shouldn't have to put up with it. And we have to.
Just there are certain things that are right and there are certain things that are wrong. I don't understand how.
Why do you want the bad thing so bad? Just stay away from the bad thing.
No, what I'm saying.
Yeah, like if you don't want your children to be around that.
Why is the bad thing so publicized within society that I have to try?
Because the people who are in power put that there. Because that's what they want. That's the agenda they got going on. But it affects us.
I get you need to
right.
stop.
So what are we supposed to do?
No, listen. Forget about those.
What are we supposed to do, Justin? If our votes don't count, what are we supposed to do?
Forget about those people. Because those people, when those people raise gas prices, you don't say, oh, you know what? They did it, so I'll just accept it. No, you complain and you bitch about it.
That's exactly, So, and then I pump gas in my car because what is it going to fly? On hopes and dreams? No, I put up with it because I have no choice. People do it all the time.
You complain and you bitch about it and you move along and do what you got to do, right? So
exactly, like you complain about the transgender people and you move along because you don't actually have to deal with that. I'm connecting a point. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to put up with it.
I'm not even finishing my point. You can't even connect because I'm not even finishing. Everywhere you're going is not even where I'm alluding to. You're going over here and I'm over here.
But I'm connecting the things that you... Listen, if you say A is A and B is B, and there's a connection between the two, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to connect it. If something you said back then relates to what we're talking now, I'm connecting those points.
Let me connect them. I can bring it full circle. Maybe what how you think it's connecting ain't how it's connecting. Maybe how you think it's connecting ain't how it's connecting. Because
I feel like you have very much of a one-track mind, and I'm giving you perspective on what it could be. No, of what it could be, and you're saying, but that's not the experience you have. Okay, but you can only have your perspective, Justin, because you are only just you.
Elz,
you know what I'm saying? And if all of the experiences you have were negative, then that's bad. But what if my experiences were different? Then I can only say, oh my God, only positive things. You know what I'm saying? It's all about how things are dealt.
That's why I started off this conversation speaking in a generalization. Mm-hmm. Then you kept saying, oh, but it didn't happen.
No, you said my child, my kid, my child, my kid.
That wasn't the first thing. That wasn't the first thing we spoke about. Again, before that,
no, the first question you asked me was, how did I feel?
No, let me connect. Let me connect it now because you're not connected. You connecting the wrong dots. Let me connect it. So the first thing, when I was speaking in general terms, you were like, "Oh no, but if it didn't happen to you, if it didn't happen to you, if it didn't happen to you," so then I use myself as an example. And now that I'm using myself an example,
right? Because you were speaking from a point of view of something that's never happened to you.
I have several questions that I've asked you during this 56 minutes.
And every time I answer, you don't like the answer.
You've answered zero. You've answered zero.
Absolutely not.
When you watch the playback, you've answered zero. You kept going off track and talking about other stuff. You still have not told me how you feel about transgenders talking to kids in school. You said, "Oh, if I have to deal with it, I have to deal with it." But I didn't ask you if you have to deal with it. I'm asking how you feel about it.
And I said to you, no, actually I did answer. And you're going to see that back on the replay.
What'd you say?
I said that if I was a parent whose child was in a school that a transgender person came and spoke at, right? Because that's the question that you asked.
No, how would I feel about knowing? That's not.
So what is the question? So what's the question? So what's the question?
I did not.
So what's the question? So what's the question?
I'm trying to say the question. Close your mouth and I'll repeat it. Stop talking for 2 seconds.
Repeat the question.
The question was, how do you feel about transgenders talking in schools? I didn't say if you were a parent, because guess what?
I don't have a problem with it because they're educating other children who might feel that way right now. There you go. You got an answer.
So that's how you feel. Yes.
That's all I need. That's how I personally feel.
You don't have.
And I said I wouldn't have a problem with it if it was my kid when I was making that reference. And I said I wouldn't have a problem. Because they can provide perspective to my child if they felt that way.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with it.
Other
people are allowed to feel uncomfortable about it. Other people are allowed, and they can make choices to not participate in those classes. You know what I'm saying? And they're also allowed to participate in schools that don't have those kind of ideals. And they'll go to schools that, support their ideals.
Now we got to put our kids in a whole different school. Now we got to segregate the schools again.
People put their children in environments they want them to be in. May that be religious. May that be because of the education level. So people already do that. People are currently doing that. If you have a child that's musically gifted, you might want them in a school that's musically inclined. If you are a devout Catholic or a Christian, you might have, all right, but we're not talking about affordability. We're talking about, they're separating people. No, this has been happening since the beginning of time. If you want to get a master's degree in business, you are going to go to a school that has a school of business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you want to get. So that's not isolating or separating or segregating anything.
I have to Google a school of anti-LGBTQ fucking just to find. But how do I find?
You know what that's called? You could just go to like a Christian. You can go to a Catholic school. They don't promote those values.
No, you can't. And
you could go to a Christian school. No, they don't promote those values.
Let me. Do I have a buzzer? Do I have a buzzer?
Have you been to a Catholic school?
Hold on.
In this day and age, Justin?
Hold on.
Stupid idiot.
I've been waiting to use that. That's so cute.
I've been waiting to use that. So
that's so cute.
Going to a Catholic school does not guarantee that your kid will not come across the LGBTQ standards or
they don't have those ideals, Justin. They don't have those type of ideals.
The Pope just granted all Catholic priests the ability to bless same-sex unions, as long as it doesn't look like a traditional marriage. So as long as it's not a gown and a bouquet and stuff, Catholic priests can bless same-sex unions. How the fuck is that going with? Explain to me that. They don't have those ideals. Are people not going
to be together regardless? I'm asking though. Are people still not going to be together regardless of them blessing it or not?
Catholic school. You just told me send them to a Catholic school. The Catholic priest just said this. The Catholic priest just said this. We're going to bless same-sex.
So what they're doing is, are they pushing those ideals or being accepted? Because those are two different things. You can accept something and not be promoting it. You could be a supporter of the LGBT. Listen, not necessarily, because you could be a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community and not be a part of the LGBTQ plus community. Do you have any issues with anybody in the LGBTQ community?
You can't support the LGBTQ unless you accept them. Acceptance and support come hand in hand. What do you mean?
Accepting them doesn't mean that I am part of the LGBTQ plus community. You
didn't say nothing about
to the black, to the white people.
You said support and accept. You didn't say nothing about being part. You said support and accept.
Right. You support, and if you support them, then you accept them. If you support them, then you accept them. You don't have an issue with it, right?
Exactly.
Is that not what support is? To not have an issue with something?
Exactly.
If you're supporting, you're making a choice. Supporting, right? I'm supporting this cup in my hand right now, and I want to do it because I chose to support it. It's very different than somebody putting it in my hand and making me hold it versus me doing this, right? This is support. I'm making a choice. Whereas somebody is holding my hand, for example, when they put, transgender people in the ability to be in a bathroom with your young daughter, they're forcing you. This is very different than forcing Justin than making him support. Support is the choice that he made. Forcing is the choice he didn't. That's what I'm saying. So if you support the community, then you accept them. But just because you accept something doesn't mean you support it.
Accepting something can lead. You're right. You're absolutely right. And before I even say anything and you go on a tangent, you're absolutely right. Accepting something doesn't
You've also gone on tangents.
Accepting something definitely doesn't mean that you support it. But acceptance,
right?
But listen, when you're in a position of leadership, when you're a role model, when you're in a position of guidance, when you accept something, that tells other people that other people are going to order without you having to say anything. Other people are going to automatically gravitate towards that. They're going to think now people who once had the ideal of, oh no, I don't do this because it is wrong. Some people grew up around homosexuality, got that ideal in their head, became, we all know, environment influences. We say it all the time. People go to.
I feel like that's okay.
Listen. We say it all the time. People go to jail. Oh, he's been in jail for 25 years of his 40 years of life. He's institutionalized. How do you expect him to assimilate to society these days? When he went to jail, cell phones didn't exist. Now he's out of jail.
Yeah.
There's skyscrapers and shit. How do you accept? Because that's his environment. He's been in that environment for so long. You don't even expect.
Yeah, the government should definitely invest more in helping people assimilate to culture, like teaching about tech and stuff like that.
But it's the same.
That should be part of the rehabilitation process.
It should.
But I mean, now more inmates have cell phones and access to technology.
No, I get that. But listen, I'm saying that to prove the point that environment influences character. So if your environment was predominantly female or predominantly homosexual or predominantly, less masculine than the normal male has, then a lot of times you have the ideals of, oh, men ain't shit. Every time you seen your mom crying is because a man broke her heart. So you're like, fuck men. I'm not. I hate being a man now. I don't want to be something that makes my mother cry. I hate being a man. So now you're groomed into those ideals. Grooming is not only when somebody's trying.
Yeah, but you can also make changes. People change every day, Justin. So when you get older, you can choose not to want to be that.
Too many people put stigmatize shit like, oh, you can groom people. If you can groom people, you're a bad person if you groom people to do this sexually, right? Knowingly. Well, you can groom people unknowingly. You can do things that are grooming people and you don't even know you're grooming them. But grooming is the same thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They're still groomed. So this person had a choice, but that person, you're like, oh, well, they got raped, so they're mentally damaged. It's hard for them to get past it. They repeating the cycle. Okay,
but that's true. Statistically, that's true.
It is. So you have to put that on these people too. Grooming is grooming. Just because this person didn't get raped doesn't mean that their grooming was any less impactful. So if a person was raised around a certain thing for a long time, then odds are that the statistics say there are two polarities. They're either going to.
So can I ask a scenario?
Okay.
Can I ask a scenario just so that I can get further understanding?
Absolutely.
So if there was a young boy and he was raised by his grandmother, his mother, and his sister, those were the female figures he was around most of his adult life, and then his grandfather in and out. What do you think the ideals look like for this young man? Do you think that means he's a woman? Do you think that means that he's gay? Do you think you mean that he's not attracted to women? Like, what do you think?
So I think that means that it depends on the culture that the child is raised in. Now, for me, a lot of things fall back into culture, right? So it doesn't matter if you come from a big family, a small family, a single parent home. You had the only people in your family are you and your parents. It don't matter what it is. To me, it's all about the culture. Now, a lot of let's take Oriental Asian cultures, right? A lot of the culture is when say you have this Asian family has a daughter and the daughter marries a man.
You mean Asian like Southeast
Chinese,
Asian,
Korean, Japanese, just of the Asian descent, like not like India, nothing like that, just like Oriental Asian, right?
Okay.
So, and I don't want to say Oriental because I didn't know if that was a proper term or not. I don't want to be like that guy.
I don't think it is, and I did catch that you stopped yourself. So
so like that's why like so Asian, like like Chinese, the Eastern part, Eastern Asia. So, daughter gets married to a husband. Husband moves in with the family, helps take care of the mother and father, the grandparents if they're still alive. The family lives together. It's Western culture that forces a lot of these. Oh, you're 18, you're an adult. Go get your own place. Most places around the world don't live like that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
So
for the most part, you live with your parents until you find your spouse.
Yeah.
Or some cultures live with the family, like in a compound.
So even then, if say when you find your spouse, your parents are older. They're in their 60s. You stay and you take care of them. You know what I'm saying? So but what I'm saying
definitely.
It's depending on the culture. You know what I mean? So if this child was raised by mom, aunt, grandma, grandfather was in and out because of whatever, military or whatever, and that's it too. Why is the male not there? Now, if the male is not there because he's a deadbeat, that child might have one ideal of him. If the male's not there.
No, not a deadbeat. They just have an out of town kind of job. Like, let's say they're a truck driver. Okay, so they're out getting the money.
So they're not out of the house because of a negative concept.
No. They're out
working.
They're out to provide.
So there you go. So that boy, depending on how often that father is home, will absolutely develop far more female tendencies than male. When he sits down, he may sit with his legs crossed because he sees his mom do that a lot. When he talks, he may talk with his hands a lot because he sees that's how his mom and them do it. But because the male comes back home, he still is instilling male values. Look, son, I'm gone because I'm taking care of my family. This is what a man does.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm here, you see how your mom acts when I'm here? Because she knows I'm going to protect her and all of you. When I'm gone, your mom is a lot tougher, right? But when I'm here, your mom is a lot more sensitive, right? because I'm nature and she's nurture.
Softer. She's in her feminine because she feels protected and safe.
Exactly. So when that boy
because he's in his masculine, you know?
Exactly. So when that boy sees that, he understands, oh, even though I'm with my mom a lot, I understand that this is what women do and this is what men do. But if there is no male figure there, and all it is women, oh, fuck man, oh, your dad ain't shit, da-da-da. Oh my God, like, oh, mom goes on a date, comes home, you meet the guy, he's a really nice guy, you never see the guy again. Mom goes on another date, comes home, you meet the guy, he's a really nice guy, you never see him again. Now you're like, man, fuck these guys.
Yeah,
man. These guys are pieces of shit, and they keep making my mom cry. Da-da-da-da. He said he was going to come over this weekend to play Mortal Kombat, and he ain't come over. Fuck him. Now you have a hatred towards men. Now you probably don't even want to be a man. It's all about the culture in that household when the man's not there. That's why they tell you when the government took the man out the household, that's what broke American society down. Broke American society down. Divorce rates went up because real men, yes, not the men that were home beating on their wives and abusing their children. Of course. So the divorce rate went sky high. It's more people getting divorced now than staying married, and then
but it's also a lot of women who are no longer willing to tolerate a partner that's abusive, or people that are maybe just not, chemistry's not working in.
I'm not even talking about those ones, because obviously those you need to get out of an abusive relationship. I would not condone anybody being in an abusive relationship, no matter what. I don't go fuck how much money he or she has. I don't go fuck what the lifestyle is. No one, unless you're both MMA fighters and y'all train together, there's no reason why y'all should be putting y'all hands on each other.
Absolutely.
Like, unless you guys are one of those Instagram couples that trains together and does their like gym stuff together, there's no reason why you should be putting your fucking hands on each other. You know what I'm saying? So
it's hilarious.
I'm just saying, like, when you really break it down to the nitty gritty and you really look at it, like, push acceptance to the side, push tolerance to the side. Why? Don't look at the fruit. Don't look at the fruit of the tree. Look at the root of the tree. Where is this all coming from?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where is the fruit coming from? Why is society like this? And you'll see that it's just not how it's supposed to be. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with these people.
But I mean, it's not necessarily society, though. People can choose to be different.
But people are part of society. Like, people, when.
No, I understand that, but there's outliers in anything. In any experiment, you have outliers. So you see how you are a person that you're very strong in your convictions. You know the things that you want, the things that you don't want. There's people that are indifferent, but they don't care. So there's outliers in anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, we are all part of society, but we don't encompass all of society. We only encompass ourselves.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, there's outliers in all of that.
Yeah, but those people who are more whimsical and like, you know, I have a, like you said, I have a more, I'm more concentrated in my approach. Like I'm very focused in my approach. Other people, you know, whatever, all you know, lollygagging and shit.
Forceful in your approach.
But,
forceful.
No, I don't want to say I'm direct in my approach because I'm open.
Direct and forceful are different.
That's why
direct and forceful are different.
Yeah, I know. That's why I ask.
Yeah, you ask questions, but you're also forceful with your opinions. So you're not direct. You're forceful.
No. Because I don't tell people like, hey, you're wrong. Not once in this entire conversation did I say you were wrong. That would be forceful. Me forcing. I haven't forced myself.
I mean, that doesn't imply that you didn't think it because you could see it in your face.
No, I was confused.
Your face,
my face was
nonverbal.
People watching on YouTube, you guys
confusion.
Let me know in the comments. It was confusion in my face because I was waiting on the answer to my question, and I'm like,
it's almost like no, it wasn't. It was like. It's like your face said, how could you believe this? This couldn't be what's possibly in your brain.
No, my face was like, my face told lies because my mind was like,
your face.
My mind was like, what is she talking about? I didn't even ask this question. I didn't even ask her this. What is she talking about? That's where my mind was at. But honestly, like, to me, it's all about the culture. To answer the question that you asked me, to me, it's about the culture of the environment that the child is raised in. If while that man is gone, working, trucking, state to state for 2-3 months at a time, if during that time the mom is at home, like, you see your dad ain't never here, oh, he's working, I bet he's out there bad mouthing, that child has a far more likelihood of growing up to be a womanizer, Well, not to be a womanizer, but actually, yes, to be a womanizer because maybe his father's his role model. Maybe he sees, and maybe
he copy what his father did.
Because when his dad does come home, his dad takes him to ball games. His dad takes him to wrestling events. His dad takes him to the batting cages. Dad goes to roller derby.
I mean, that wouldn't make him that wouldn't specifically make him a womanizer. His father womanizing women in front of him will make him a womanizer.
No, what I'm saying is that would make his father his idol. And when his father's gone, if all his mom is saying is the negative, then he's going to think that I can be a good guy and still treat women like this. Like, whatever, like she ain't leaving him. So I can be gone. I can do whatever I want to do. Because as you get older, you want freedom. So as you get older, you start thinking like, I can go on the road like my dad did and just have a girlfriend at home and just, I'll come home when I come home and just do what I want to do on the road. That's what my mom said my dad was doing. I mean, he was doing his thing and just came home and took care of us, whatever. He was still good with me. So he might still be your idol and you still might not care about women. Or it might be a situation where you're like, I mean, fuck him. He only comes home I only see him 4 times a year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but there's variables in anything. Would you say you're very similar to your father?
I would say...
Would you say you're very similar to your father in relationships?
I would say, no, absolutely not. I would say me and my father are very similar.
There you go, because you made a choice because you're a different person. So you can make a choice.
No,
it's that simple.
No, me and my father are not similar in relationships because we don't like the same type of women. Like, that's just...
No, that's that. It's not about preference. I said in relationships, like how you are, not what you're attracted to. That was not what I asked.
Well, a lot of times
I say how are you in relationships, not what you're attracted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. A lot of times how you are is based on what you're attracted to in that relationship. Like if you are attracted to something.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm asking you.
If you're attracted to something.
I asked, are you and your father very similar? And you said, yeah. And I said, are you guys very similar in relationships? And then you started talking about preference, and that's not what I was asking.
No, and
I was asking to see if what you were saying earlier has a correlation into your life, where you saw an example from your dad. Are you like your dad, or are you like not your dad?
But that's what I'm saying.
I'm clarifying what I'm asking so you can give me the proper response.
I did give you the proper response, and then I'm responding to your response. Like, did you forget what you said after I said no? Like I said no, and then you said, "Oh, well, it's because of X, Y, and Z." And I'm telling you, no, it's not because of that, because that didn't happen in my life. That's what I'm trying to get at, and that's why I'm saying it's because of the preference.
So I said yes, you're different than your father in relationships because you made a choice to be different. That's what I said. You made a choice,
but that's not why. That's not why.
But you made a choice. Regardless of why you made that choice, you made a choice. So whether you are just like your dad or you are not like your dad, you made the choice to be that. Somebody can have a fucked up upbringing and still grow up and be great and be a great family person. Things are also personal choices. You know, there's things that we're kind of like tucked into, like when we're children, because we depend on other people to survive, right? Like our parents. And then there's things that as we get older, as we develop as adults, we make choices to do or not to do, right? So let's say, if not you specifically, let's just say a random person. Let's say this person grew up in a house where there were 2 kids, there were 2 boys, and they had a father who was abusive, right? One of those kids can grow up and be a womanizer, and one of those kids can grow up and be the complete opposite. So that's like the same thing. There's no relation. Each child made a choice. So even if they had a certain influence, they both had the same influence. Both children of the same father. One grows up to be a womanizer. One grows up to not. People make choices individually. You may be exposed to something, and that doesn't mean that you become that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like if you grew up, like for example, let's use T.I. and Tiny's kid. Right? He's getting a lot of flag in the internet, and they're saying like, yo, we don't understand why you're like this, you know? And this is the type of parent he had, right? And then you see their other siblings are completely different from him. He himself, within himself, made a choice that he didn't want to live with them, right? That's the choice that he made. So he could have had the same exposure the other kids had and had the same exact upbringing, but that's not what he chose for himself. So even though they have like all these joint people, that they have a mixed family, like like a combined family, that doesn't necessarily mean that all the kids are the same. There's always an outlier. So just because you had this type of upbringing doesn't mean that you get to choose that. Like, all the other kids are musically inclined and they're really good, and he's also musically inclined, but their sounds are completely different. He's more in the media for more negative things than the other ones are. So people make choices, you know? So yes, you can have a fucked up upbringing and still be a good person, or you can have a great upbringing and still be a shithead. People are just individuals. They make their own choices.
All right. That's true, but that has nothing to do with the answer to the question that you asked me. It had nothing to do.
No, it absolutely does.
No, let me tell you
why.
It
absolutely does.
Let me tell you why.
It absolutely does. Because influence doesn't mean you don't have a choice to be different.
I didn't have influence. I didn't meet the man until I was 17 years old. There was no influence. So that's what I'm saying. There was no choice.
Right, so no influence is an influence.
Listen, I didn't choose to be different because I didn't know what he was like in relationships. I didn't grow up watching him in relationships. I didn't know what he was like. So I didn't choose to be different. So that's what I'm saying. There was no choice.
Right, but you just choose to be yourself. You are who you are.
What are you talking about? Listen. Let me answer your question. Look, hypothetically, let's take that. Let's take this hypothetical situation you said, right? Now, say somebody's in a relationship with a woman, and their father's in a relationship with another woman, obviously, and they're two different relationships. Say man A's name. Let's just say, hypothetically, it's me and my dad. I don't fucking know. Whatever. I'm in a relationship with a woman I like. My dad's relationship in another relationship. I'm good in my relationship.
With a woman he likes. You're saying?
Let's say I'm married and he's married.
Like your dad is in a relationship and you're in a relationship.
Married. Yeah,
you're both in separate relationships.
We're both married, right? So, and my relationship is going great. We're like, I'm happy. We're good. You know what I'm saying? But his is rocky. And you know, they have a lot of problems and shit like that. And it's not because, and let's just say hypothetically, we were exactly the same in our approach. Like I buy flowers, he buys flowers. Like, and it's not tit for tat. It's just like we just both happen to do these things. Like I take my woman
very
out,
similar.
Very similar things, right? Here's the difference. Okay. Though. I'm with a woman. Not everybody can be with the woman they want to be with. Some people feel like they settle. So that's what influences relationships.
That's true.
So I'm with the woman I want to be with, and he's not with the woman he wants to be with. So, that can be.
So he's going to be a very different type of person.
Exactly. And that has nothing to do with a choice.
But he chose to be with that woman. No, there is a choice. He chose to be with her. He settled. Settling is a choice.
No. Because now you're going by Western societal standard. Let's talk about
settling is a choice.
No, it's not, because let's talk about the bare bones of human nature. But human nature, nobody wants to be alone. When you're in jail and they put you in solitary, that's a punishment, right? So why the fuck would you want to grow old alone as a person? It's a punishment. It's a mental punishment.
You can make that choice. Some people make that choice. You're making it seem like it's unheard of. It's not unheard of.
It is. And 90%.
It is not unheard of.
Why do you keep repeating yourself? I said it is. And 90%.
Because it's not unheard of.
And 90% of the people who make that choice die unhappy. Unhappy. How many people do you know?
But then there's a 10% that was happy.
So listen.
There was a choice. 10% chose not to.
So, all right.
By your math.
Okay, cool. Okay. Did you get mad when Kanye said slavery was a choice?
By the math that you said.
Did you get mad when Kanye said slavery was a choice?
Of course.
Okay, so what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Why? Why did you get mad?
Because slavery was not a choice.
What the fuck? You just said everything is a choice. You just said everything's a choice. So they had a choice. They could have ran or they could have stayed. It wasn't a good choice. It wasn't a good choice.
Do you know what redlining is? You know what redlining is?
Just like staying in alone till you die is not a good choice.
It's a choice. We didn't say if it was good or bad. We said it was a choice.
And so
we didn't discuss whether it was negative or positive. You said
not running from the plane.
90%. 90%, right? But people still tried it. They made a choice to run away.
So why are you mad that he said that it was a choice? If it was a choice.
Because he made it seem, listen to me. He made it seem like people weren't going to get shot if they just walked away like, hey, you know what, master, I don't feel like working today. Honestly, I don't feel like being here no more. So I'm going to dip about. No, but that's what he was alluding to. If he's saying it like he was a choice.
The only thing he said was...
So how do you know? Did he tell you exactly how he meant it? Because you don't know that unless if he expanded on it.
No.
Did he expand on it?
Hold on. I'm
asking.
I'm trying to tell you. What? Why are you telling me you're asking?
Okay,
No, I'm trying to tell you. I don't have to know what he meant. I'm just telling you that that's not what you're saying isn't what he was alluding to.
But you don't know that because he didn't say that specifically. So if you don't clarify it, how would you know?
Let me clarify what I'm saying. Let me finish a statement.
Okay.
All he said was, and I'm not saying I agree or disagree with him. All I'm saying was, what he said was one sentence statement. Slavery was a choice. He didn't say it was a good choice. He didn't say it was a bad choice. But you just said that
But you're adding adjectives. Listen to what I said. You, Justo, don't know how he feels about it because he didn't expand on it. Did he expand on it at any point outside of saying it was a choice?
That's what
Did he expand on it?
Can I answer
You
the
don't
question?
know that.
Yo, why?
But you didn't. But you didn't.
I'm trying to, but you keep talking. Why do you keep talking? If you ask me a question, let me answer the question. Why do you keep interjecting yourself in the middle of my sentence? Let me.
It was like 10 seconds of silence.
There was no silence.
Were talking the entire time.
There was no silence. Listen.
Silent right here. Silence.
Because I'm trying to remember what I was saying. I don't even remember what I was saying now because you interrupted me. Now I gotta rewind.
You were saying that Kanye said that slavery was a choice.
No, okay.
And you said that you know how he felt. And I said, how did you know?
No, I did not. See, you keep interjecting.
No, I said, I asked you, how did you know? Is what I said.
You said, your specific words were, I just said, I know what he meant. No, I did not say that. If you would let me finish a statement without interjecting where you think I'm going to stop, you'll get it. You'll get the point. Okay. What I'm saying is, I don't know what he meant, nor do you. So I'm agreeing with you in the sense when you say, oh, Justo, you don't know what he meant when he said this. You're right. And nor do you. So what do you mean when you say he was alluding to X,
we
Y,
don't know. We don't know what he was alluding to because what you said, he was alluding to it being a choice. And I said, how do we know that? How do we know what he was alluding to? How do we know if you don't know and I don't know? How do we know? How do we know?
I'm saying, I asked you a question. Did it make you mad? You said yes. I said, why? You said, because he alluded to the fact that they weren't going to get shot, No, he didn't. And you just proved that point that he did not allude to any of that. But you said the reason why you got mad was because he alluded to that. That's all I'm saying. What are you talking about?
So let me ask you a question. You know,
please
you're dropping gems, right? DK. If Kanye said slavery was a choice, and I was upset because saying something that is horrible, right, and dehumanizing, right?
Yes.
So saying
like dying alone.
Like we want to do that. All right, but those are not the same thing, Justin. You being a slave and you dying alone are not the same things. They're not the same things. Those things cannot be any more different. I'm alone right now, and am I a slave? Do I feel like a slave? No, I'm just by myself.
Dude, we're not talking about
right, but no, but listen to what I'm saying. No. Let's circle back to the Kanye thing. You said, did you get upset when you found out that he said that slavery was the choice? I said, yeah, I was upset because why else would somebody say slavery in itself? The word is already negative. Right? It's not a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like at work, we use the term slaving, but I'm choosing to be there. Right? When you were a slave, you didn't choose to be there. You got taken from your home and you got placed somewhere. Huh?
So is the word isolation. Isolation is a negative word as well. When you get placed in isolation, it is not a good thing. So when you die in isolation,
all right, but that's exactly
in isolation. That is not a good thing. That's a mental that damages you mentally.
But people that are monks live in isolation, and they made that choice, and they're happy with their choice.
No, they don't. They live amongst other monks.
They're isolated. They don't have any partners. They don't have partners. They don't have families. They're isolated from the world. They're away, isolated, separated from the regular world. They're isolated.
But we're
exactly what you said.
But we're talking about sexuality. We're talking about isolation.
Yes, but you brought up isolation.
Because we're talking about...
You brought up isolation.
I know. I just said that. We're talking about it in the terms of sexuality. Monks don't have a sexuality. Monks don't identify with sexuality. Monks don't have sex. Ever in their life. They don't have sex. So isolation to them They're not even isolated. They're amongst other monks. They're part of their society.
There's people in the world that don't have sex.
They're in their society.
People in the world who don't have sex that are not monks.
Yeah, there are. There are many people. People who
so what are you saying? That's a choice. That's a choice. That's what I'm saying. Slavery was not a choice. If every slave that was ever owned by anyone, if every slave that was owned by anyone, no, stop. If every slave, right? I was upset because Kanye says slavery was a choice. If every slave had the opportunity to just walk off the plantation with no repercussions, they would have left. They wouldn't have stayed. And if they chose to stay, then for them, slavery was the choice. But that wasn't the choice for most of them.
I'm not saying what.
No, but I'm explaining to you why I was upset behind the comment and why I received it as slavery being a choice because it had consequences. If it didn't have consequences, they would have all left.
But they would have all left. Every choice in the world has consequences. Every choice in the world.
Yes, that's part of the choice.
But
that's literally part of the choice, that it's going to come with repercussions.
Yes, and that's what we're getting at. So when in the scenario that we just painted, if you forget, it was a relationship scenario. One person in a relationship with someone who they love, and another person in a relationship with somebody who they don't want to be with. But this is the best that they can get, for regardless of whatever the reason may be. Whatever it is, they're on parole, and they can't leave town, and they live in a small town. Whatever the fuck the case is, whatever the reason, this is why they're with this person. They got this person pregnant, and they did the right thing.
Yeah, but they made a choice. They could have chose any other person.
So
they could have chose any other person. They made a choice.
That's not
when you settle, right? I'm gonna give it to you like this: if you go to a restaurant and they only have one thing in the, there's two things in the menu, one that you don't eat, or that you don't, you're allergic to, and then one that you don't, you settle for the other. You made a choice. You made a choice. You chose to eat that. Because if it's something you don't eat and you're not allergic to it, you could have ate the other thing. You could have. That was a choice that you had. There was two choices. You chose this one. Settling is a choice. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it like that, right? And people are just coupling up to not be together, right? That's a thing. Cool. But like, there could be person A and person B, right? You might be settling for both of these people because what you actually want is person C, right? But you still chose between either of these people. If you chose this one, then you pick this one. If you pick this one, then you pick this one. It was a choice because you couldn't get what you wanted. So regardless of anything, settling is a choice. When you settle for something, you're like, I guess this is fine. This will do. It's a choice. Now, if you had your choice, you would be with the person you want to be with. But settling is a choice. Everything is a choice. Except for slavery, though, because that was not a choice.
All right. I think we've gotten way off here. I think you focus way too much on the Kanye thing. Listen. Being in a relationship, settling is a choice. All right. But again, I think we're looking too much at the fruit and not the root of the situation. But the root is not always indicative of the fruit, Justin, and that's what I was saying. The root is never indicative of the fruit. The fruit would have to be indicative of the root. So, but this is what I'm saying, is that as human beings, as creatures, I don't care if you believe in Adam and Eve. I don't care if you believe in evolution. Biology is biology, okay? People have a need for social interaction. You go to jail, you do bad, they put you in isolation, they put you in solitary, in the dark, by yourself. Only person you see is only human you see is the hands that slide you your meal tray through the fucking door. That's it. And your lawyer when it's time. That's why? Because that's a punishment. It's a punishment.
No, it is.
It is. Exactly. And why is it a punishment? Because the people who created the prison industrial complex understand, they have doctors and scientists that understand the human brain, and they know that people are not supposed to live like this. So when a person is faced with the choice in their mind of being alone, miserable, having no companionship, no romantic companionship, or having to settle for this person, at that time, settling may seem a lot better. You know what I mean?
But but that's a choice. That's all I was saying. What we're saying are both true. They're both true at the same time. You're right, and I'm also right.
But you're saying you're talking about the choice from the surface value. Oh, you can be alone, you can be with somebody, you can settle. I'm talking about the choice.
Yeah, but but that was a choice.
I'm talking about the choice of deep emotional and mental repercussion, because being with the wrong person and being alone can both make you physically sick. So
yeah,
if you haven't been with someone, you're 50 years old, 55 years old, 60 years old. It's been 20 years since you've been with somebody. 25 years. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. Whatever. And the only person that really shows you interest is somebody that is not really about your lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They smoke cigarettes, they drink a lot, they're not a very clean person. But this is literally the only person that ever wants to spend time with you, the only person that ever shows interest in you. You end up saying, fuck it. Like, I'm tired of waking up to no one. I'm tired of going to sleep to no one.
You were tired of living the kind of life you had, so you made a choice to change it.
So you made a choice to change it.
You made a choice. Right. So you're right. But I am also right. It is a choice. You made a choice for your survival. You made a choice.
Exactly. So that's why, and I want to clarify for anybody who's listening who might be like, why the fuck did you go there? That's why I did the compare and contrast of Kanye said slavery was a choice. Those people, in their mind, they were risking physical, mental, emotional, all types of trauma by doing what they did. They didn't always die.
Proving that it does. Yeah. And people tried, and people ran away.
Yeah, a lot of people got away, and a lot more didn't, because a lot more didn't try. Like, even the people, I guess, Harriet Tubman.
People were afraid, yeah.
What Harriet Tubman said, she was like, oh, I freed 100 slaves, and I could have freed 100 more if they knew they were slaves, or something like that. Like, it's a mental thing. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
So many people will say, oh, you know, they were mentally in cages. They didn't even have to keep them in physical cages. They were in mental cages.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, did they make the choices? So then did they make the choice to stay?
Yeah, they made a choice to stay, because when the other friends left, they didn't go.
So, exactly. So it gets deep. So that's the only contrast I was making. So
for sure.
Also, when you want to be with somebody, that's a lifelong decision. Do you want to stay alone and die alone, or do you want to be with somebody? So a lot of times, people are with people because of whatever.
You know they have nothing better. No, it's true. I can definitely say I settled in one of my relationships.
I mean, I feel like a lot of people have. I did. I settled for many years because I was waiting for someone specific. You know what I mean? So I settled plenty of times, hoping that those relationships would go down the drain and the thing that I would want would actually come to fruition. You know what I mean? So I was settling and self-sabotaging, which is weird combination.
So I have a question. So those people that you were with, right, in the past, were they aware that you were waiting for this other person?
I mean, I've never made it unknown that I had deep feelings for that person, the person who I'm.
But that you make it known.
So I always, like I said,
right. But that you make it known. So then that means that those people also made a choice to settle with you, because they knew if this person came about, you were going to go. So they also settled. They also made a choice.
The choice to them wasn't that. So, no, you're right. They made a choice. But the choice to them, I think you think they made the wrong choice. But the choice to them wasn't
right.
that.
But if you were upfront and you said, hey, girl A, right? I'm waiting on this. If you were transparent at it from the beginning. No. But listen, I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
No, I don't.
If you were with these people that you settled for at the time.
You're right, but you're not right.
No, but I'm asking for clarification. No, I'm asking for clarification.
So I'm
so like, if person A, if you told person A that you were waiting for this other person that came about, right? And they're like, okay, I still want to be with you regardless, right? And then person B comes along, and then Justin's like, hey, remember when I told you if person B comes around, I'm going to go? And then you left. They also settled because you told them that from jump. You didn't mislead them. You told them the truth, right? You were honest, but they also settled for you. You were saying like, oh, I settled for those people. They could have settled for you until their better person came along. You see what I mean? Like, people make choices. I know, because that's people also settle. No, just because you settled for someone and you consider them a settle doesn't mean that they don't consider you one. You could have very well been their settle.
I get what you're saying, but that's not what the case was.
Right.
Let me explain to you what the cases were.
But how do you know that?
Because they told me. I'm trying to tell you why I knew that. Like, let me explain it to you. That's why I kept trying to stop you, because I knew where you were going, and that's not what it is. Okay. Let me tell you what it is. What it is they were all New Yorkers. straight up like that, living in New York, and every single one of them, I mean, nobody says, oh, if this person ever comes along, I'm going to leave you. What you tell the person, obviously, is going to be like, there is somebody who I do care deeply about, and, that I do consider that person the one that got away. Obviously, when somebody says that's the one that got away, like, oh, man, that's shit. This person might even...
Right, so that's exactly what you're saying, that if this person comes along, you're going to go.
But...
You're going to shoot your shot.
But it's not... But it was never received as that. What it always is received as is, oh, word? Mm-hmm. Ain't no bitch better than me. I'll make you forget about her. 10 times out of 10, that's how it is. So it's not what you think it is. That is exactly what it is. And from my experience, every one of them being from New York, every one of them being from different boroughs, except for Staten Island, even from Long Island. So I'll say Long Island and replace that. So let's say 5 boroughs include Long Island instead of Staten Island, right? Every one of them have the same...
we don't drag Staten Island anyway.
Every one of them had the same exact mindset. Every one of them had the same mindset. Oh, word? Fuck that bitch. I'm gonna make you forget about her. That bitch ain't as good as me.
Okay.
Every one of them. So even if in their mind, subconsciously, their subconscious knows he's gonna leave you one day for this girl. That's not why they stayed. They stayed to prove that they were better.
I mean, it was kind of like, it was kind of like a challenge. People so tap into that kind of like, oh, I'm going to chase this even though I can't have it kind of thing. People always want what they can't have.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's interesting. People live that's very interesting to look at.
And that goes like, you can take that even back to biblical fucking people live from a place of lack. People want what they don't have.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody, I don't say nobody.
But to be honest with you, if a man I was interested in told me at some point in our courtship that there was someone that if she came back around, he's going to go with her, I'm not going to enter a relationship with this man, because he's already having a thought that if this other person comes about, he's potentially going to go. And that means he's not going to give himself full opportunity to get to know me. Because he's still pining over this person.
I don't think any.
No, I'm speaking personally.
I feel you, but I don't think anybody's gonna word it how you said.
No, but I'm just saying for me, those women may have looked at it like it was a challenge. Like, oh, I'm gonna make him forget about that girl. Like, I'm gonna be better. Like, who the fuck is better than me?
It's the way you're wording it.
But there was somebody who was better than all of them.
Yes, but you're understanding it wrong. I never said, nor do I think.
No. I'm not misunderstanding it. I understood exactly what you said. I was saying me. If I was in the position of that woman, I feel like that was delusional shit. They were being delusional is what I'm saying.
No, listen to what
I'm agreeing with everything you're saying, Justin. I'm literally agreeing with you.
You are, but you're agreeing to the wrong things because you're not listening to what I'm saying. What I'm saying, because you keep...
No. I'm agreeing. No. All of what I said was that it was crazy that those women kind of saw you like a challenge, right? Like they wanted to say like, oh, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna make him forget about this girl. And they could have genuinely had feelings for you and all of that. I'm just saying that it's crazy that if somebody kind of alludes to something of that way, you were still going to want to be with them. Like for me personally, like I couldn't do that because they're not fully investing into me and getting to know me. Because if this person roll around, it's crazy because they're just going to leave. So all the time and effort that I put into this person was stupid. So what I'm actually saying is that those women that you were upfront with about that and then still decided to go into a relationship with you had no self-esteem. Because why would you do that to yourself? Why would you put yourself through years of a relationship with someone who said, if someone else comes about, I'm going to leave you? You're basically telling that person out loud like, yo, I'm just settling for you. In other words, that's what you told them. And they still chose to be with you. They have no self-esteem. They don't love themselves because they should be with someone who wants to be with them, not who's just putting up with you until the next bad bitch come along. You know what I'm saying? Those people have no self-esteem.
Okay. Again.
No, but I was agreeing. I don't feel like you understand that. I was agreeing with you.
Yo, let me say something, please. I'm looking at the clock. It's been like 4 minutes. You won't let me say something. Listen. What you're agreeing to is not what I'm saying. I keep trying to say this. It's not what I'm saying. Me nor anybody that I've ever met, I don't think has ever told a woman, hey, I like you, but if this person comes around, I'm going to leave you for them. That's not what's said. That's a very disrespectful thing to say. Who would say that to somebody? So you keep saying that if someone said that to you.
But you say you were alluding to that.
No.
You were saying you were alluding to that. Like, there's the one that got away. So why would you even bring that up to someone if you weren't planning on eventually leaving? Why would you say that to someone? That's just mean.
Because when you're in a relation, like when people have discussions, sometimes conversations come up where it's a situation where they're like, oh, you know, has there ever been a situation where, you know, you really cared about somebody and didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, well, I had a relationship, you know, and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, sometimes I consider that the one that got away, the standard third. Well, saying that that's the one that got away doesn't mean that I don't feel like I still have.
See, but those are different situations.
What different situations? What do you mean?
It was different situations because you were speaking about it from the point of it came up in a random conversation while we were in a relationship versus you went up to this person, right? The way I was saying, if somebody came up to me directly and say, yo, El, like I fuck with you, I think you're cool. You know, there's somebody, you know, out there that I really care for. And if that person come back around, you know, I would want to see that, right? Versus what you did where it's like, it just randomly came up in conversation. Those are two different things. I was saying for me, else, right. I'm not saying that our situations would have been the same. I'm just saying if someone came up to me and said that, in other words, they were kind of settling for me, I wouldn't have gave them any of my time.
No, I feel
that's what I was saying.
No, I feel you. That's understandable. But you kept saying that, oh, if you tell these girls this and they're still being with you, like, no, that's not. But that's what I'm saying. I didn't tell those girls that. Like, you kept saying, like, oh, in their mind, they were settling. And
I thought that was something that you opened up with. That's no, okay.
I mean, no, that's. I feel like that's kind of weird because, like, especially in my situation, at that time, that person was married. Like, I felt like, oh, that person got away and they're married. Why would I think that they would ever leave their marriage for me? I don't know what's going on in their marriage.
Get divorced every day,
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. I don't know what's going on in the internals of that house. I don't know what's happening. It's just that I know that the person who I used to have dealings with is now is in a relationship and she's married now and she has children and it's even now she has now more children than she did when we started dealing with each other. So now why would I think that I would ever get that person? So when I'm talking about the scenario, I'm not speaking from a place of like, oh, if this person comes back, I'm not thinking this person's ever going to come back. You know what I'm saying? I see this person maybe once a year, maybe once every year and a half. You know what I mean? So I'm letting you know up front, hey, yeah, oh, since you did ask me that question, I'm pretty transparent. I don't want to ever, like, I share friends with I'm not the kind of guy where I'm like, oh, these are my friends, those are your friends. Well, you want to come hang out with me and my friends? Come on. There's never going to be a situation where, like, one of my friends says something and I'm like, oh, shit, bro, chill. No, you know everything already. You know about this person. You know
that's dope. That means you're a very transparent partner.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's all I mean in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be upfront about it and boom. So I have had situations like that in the past where X led to Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. But, damn, we've been off almost 2 hours, man. Almost 2 hours.
We're some chatty people.
Yeah.
I think I'm coming down with a cold. I feel my body. I feel sick. I feel it. I
don't know. Maybe you need to settle for a man that's going to take care of you.
Oh, that's so cute because I did. I got married. That didn't work out.
Oh,
I did settle. See what I mean? See? Full circle. And that's what happens when you settle. That's hilarious. Now, what would be the bigger plot twist is if the people that you didn't settle for, right? The person that you wanted settled for you. Now, that would be crazy.
I mean, that would be wild. But at the end of the day,
that would be.
Who wins? This guy.
I mean, probably you. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So,
I am.
You know,
I'm sick. Oh, fuck.
You sick?
I might have to call out of work. No, I might have to call out of work. I don't feel good.
Ew.
Oh, God, I want to go to work tomorrow. Oh, my gosh. But yeah, this was a very titillating conversation. And I do want to, like, apologize. I couldn't avoid it, I guess. But I do apologize for talking over you and being long-winded.
You're good. You got excited. It happens. That happens when people talk to me. They get all excited.
In some parts more than others, for sure. Yes, because you were not excited. You were monotone the entire time.
First of all,
you never got excited not once in the conversation.
It's them flat ass headphones you using. I had hella hype.
You can see your face catching literal heart attacks. Like your face was like. It was fucking hilarious, man. I had a good time though. I had a good time. This is no love. This is me and you on the This is literally us on the regular. Like for those that don't know, this is literally us on the regular. This is how we communicate with one another.
Yeah, she doesn't know what she be
sometimes better than others.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
That's all the time.
You're so funny. You're so funny.
It happens. But no, I appreciate you stopping by, man. We
appreciate you for having me.
We had some talks. We talked about some things that some people are probably going to be like, "Oh, fuck this. These niggas is crazy." Sure. Click. But for the ones who don't hit that X button while you're listening, I appreciate you. And while you're here listening, whatever you're listening on. Listen,
this is an opinion. This is the opinion of Conscious Elz and Justo. So, we don't speak for anybody but ourselves.
There's a reason why this show is called Nobody's Favorite Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just cool. That was a good wraparound. That's good. I see what you did there.
I let it be known.
That was good.
Like this, because controversy is. There's some things that's gonna be said that you might not like. If you like everything you hear, then you might be listening to the wrong show, man. You gotta have some controversy in there. You gotta have some debate. You gotta have some like tit for tat. You know what I'm saying? But nah, seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate you coming through. Let me know when you let me know what your schedule's looking like, man. Maybe we can get you on here, talk about something else. You know what I mean, get some more insights.
We definitely can talk about other stuff. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. I'll put you on my future guest list.
You just made the list.
My God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So,
your sound effects are hilarious. This is so funny.
We'll add you to that. And yeah, for everybody who's listening, man, I appreciate you all for listening. I appreciate you stopping by, taking 2 hours out of your time to listen to another one of my episodes of me just going on and talking. You must like my voice. It's kind of crazy.
I'm interested to see which clips you pick.
I'm interested. Yeah, we're gonna see. I mean, we're gonna do a little promo for the show. See what we do.
I can't wait to see what you pick. I can't wait to see.
It'll be up soon. If you're listening to this podcast, you've probably already seen the clips. Clips always drop before the show. You know what I mean? Get you guys all antsy or hot and bothered. But yeah, like I said before, Spotify, hit the follow button. YouTube, hit them subscribes. Everything, whatever you on, click them bells, ding dings, all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Come back, get notifications and all of that. Yeah, man, appreciate you all for stopping through, listening, taking the time out. This has been another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. Your boy Justo here with Conscious Elz, signing out. Peace.
Peace.